With friends like these, friends in high places. 1. Jethro, the rescuer. The advice: when Pharaoh proposed drowning the male Hebrew infants, Jethro protested and tried to dissuade him. The outcome: his opposition angered Pharaoh, forcing Jethro to flee Egypt for his life. He eventually settled in Midian, having taken Joseph's staff with him, where he became the high priest and later the father-in-law and mentor to Moses. The reward: because he risked his life to save the Hebrews, his descendants were later rewarded with prominent roles in the Sanhedrin. 2. Job, the bystander. The advice: Job was personally opposed to the plan but remained silent either because he feared for his own safety or believed his protest would be futile. The outcome: because he was a bystander who failed to speak up against the atrocity, tradition says God later tested him with the severe afflictions described in the book of Job. 3. Balaam, the perpetrator. The advice: the third advisor in this trio was Balaam, often cited as the father or master of Jans and Jambres. He was the one who actively encouraged Pharaoh to enslave the Israelites and murder the babies. The outcome: he was later killed during the Israelites' war with Midian. In this context, Jethro and Job are political or civil figures within the Egyptian government, whereas Jans and Jambres were religious or occult figures used as tools for supernatural combat later during the 10 plagues. In Jewish midrashic traditions, specifically those found in the book of Jasher and other rabbinic literature, Jethro, referred to as Reuel, imprisoned Moses for 10 years for several strategic and supernatural reasons. Political caution: Jethro had been a high-ranking advisor in Pharaoh's court. When Moses arrived in Midian and confessed, he was a fugitive who had killed an Egyptian and fled from Pharaoh. Jethro feared Egyptian retribution. Conciliating rivals. Some accounts suggest Jethro intended to hand Moses over to the children of Cush, Ethiopia, whom Moses had supposedly ruled for 40 years before arriving in Midian, as a way to curry favor with them. Identifying the chosen one. Legend states that Jethro suspected Moses was the figure destined to destroy Egypt. To test this or prevent the inevitable conflict, he threw Moses into a deep pit, expecting him to die of starvation. The survival of Moses: according to the legend, Moses survived this 10-year imprisonment through the secret intervention of Zipporah, Jethro's daughter. Secret aid. For the entire decade, Zipporah brought Moses bread and water in secret, keeping him alive without her father's knowledge. The miraculous release. After 10 years, Zipporah challenged her father to check the pit, arguing that if Moses was still alive, it proved he was protected by a powerful God. When Jethro found Moses alive and well after reclaiming the staff, he recognized the divine protection and released him, eventually allowing him to marry Zipporah. In both the Bible and Jewish tradition, the figure of Jethro is frequently referred to as Reuel, Exodus chapter 2 verse 18. This dual naming is common in ancient Semitic cultures and is explained through several historical and religious lenses. 1. Personal name versus title. The most common explanation among scholars and traditional commentators is that Reuel was his given personal name, while Jethro, meaning excellence or abundance, was an honorific title reflecting his high status as a priest of Midian. Reuel literally means friend of God. Jethro implies his excellency or eminence. 2. The 7 names of Jethro. Jewish midrashic tradition, specifically in the Mekhilta and Sifrei, teaches that Jethro had 7 different names, each representing a different facet of his character or life story. Reuel, for being a friend to God. Jethro, for the addition yetter of a section of the Torah, the judicial system he advised Moses to implement. Habab, for his love Shivath of the Torah. Others, including Jether, Heber, Kenny, and Puchil. 3. Grandfather versus father. Some interpretations of Numbers 10:29, which mentions Habab the son of Reuel, suggest that Reuel was actually the grandfather, the clan patriarch, and Jethro was the immediate father of Zipporah. In ancient Hebrew, the term father was often used broadly to denote a grandfather or the head of a household.